Welcome. I'm Kenneth Andre, Tenjitsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Everything that I share and say and do is for a reason. If there sounds like a contradiction, there isn't. Investigate further. I hope you're all doing well out there. Blessings and love to you all. Again, I'm not part of any secret society or religious belief system. I'm all about the truth, and when it comes to revealing this truth, I am not to hold back. I've got a powerful video to share with you, and again, record and document. For those who are new to the channel, who've come across this video, back in the year 2011, when I was 33, I had a mystical experience where this divine light emerged with me. I've been studying day and night ever since, going through a unique transformation, having strange knowledge, going down many different avenues and schools of thought, where Father has taught me symbology that lifts the veils, and I've had the sacred books open to me. In this channel, there is jigsaw puzzle pieces of gold to the greatest mysteries. There is secrets and allegories and anagrams being revealed from movies, music videos, secret and ancient texts, the Egyptian hieroglyphs, etc. I've been groomed for a time like this, to assist in this ascension, coming into the light of things. It's part of the apocalypse, which means unveiling. I'm going to be sharing something that's very powerful. The initiates knew of this knowledge in connection with the Mazzaroth, the vault of heaven, which held the greatest of secrets, secrets that was forbidden to the first earthly man Adam, the Elementives, the generic unconscious collective race throughout the ages until this point. We are what's termed at the end of a cycle, the end of the world, where there is a lot going on and things are not what they seem. We get the language, there is a harvest. This harvest is for the angels. Those who open the matrix belong to the Father. For many of us, we are going forward on the crown arrow, part of the prime, shifting timelines into a wonderful future that will prosper you, prosper us, where all the mysteries and secrets will pour forth, and individuals like myself, by doing the works with Father, walking with the Father, where Father is teaching us everything, and we listen to the instructions, we accept the correction. We've been molded for a time like this to shine our light, to share with you everything we've learned and that which we receive from Spirit. Now, we've been going through amazing transformation and seeing the harbingers, the signs in the firmament that declares the glory of God's handiwork. And there is so much more to the heavens. Coming into the final, should we say, moments of the cycle where we are receiving the presentation of the AI. I'm learning something deeper about this AI and understanding it is something that wants to take over. It's something that cannot accept, should we say, the authentic original blueprint, the upright man, Adam. This is me studying day and night since 2011, studying symbology by the works of Father being done in me, loving the anagrams and allegories in movies. I've learnt about patterns. Father activated something in me years ago where I have a depth perception that's enhanced. I'm hypersensitive, but I've learnt to take control over it. At first, it nearly killed me and I didn't want to live. But this has helped me to make sense of so much of the mysteries in our secret texts. Again, I not say this to put myself above anyone or below anyone, and I'm not saying I'm better than anyone or no better. I am what I am, and I'm simply sharing that which I've received, that which I am. It's that simple. As I've mentioned, it wasn't my plan to come on here and share everything that I've learned. This is the grace and mercy of Father, and I do love doing this. But I didn't think, with everything I was learning, that I was going to just share it on a platform like this when so many of the great masters tell us to keep quiet. For example, Thoth in the Emerald Tablets. And there's many others that tells you to keep quiet. This knowledge is not for the average, generic, unconscious collective man, Adam. I get it. But with the circumstances, the age that we are in, those who are pulled to peculiar people like myself, and God has these peculiar people, you have to receive these precepts, this knowledge, these insights into God's kingdom and to reality itself if you are to go forward. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck going around in these cycles in an Ouroboros. You've got to be open-minded and flip from the first earthly man Adam to the heavenly man Adam. Now, many of you belong to a higher octave, a higher sphere. And so to many of you, this is going to resonate with you. And you're going to understand that there was more to reality. You knew it. You never quite fitted in with this world. And seeing the denigration of it and the wickedness increasing, growing exponentially, especially with the AI, we want to look for an exodus. There's a language, there is a door, a stargate, a portal, an interdimensional, mystical transformation that can occur with those who are seeking God and the truth. This is not fiction. This is reality. This is us wanting to be delivered from a world of lies and darkness, having the veils lifted, the carnal mind, the clay washed out of our eyes, where we see the truth of the ages we've been traversing through and the nature of man, the beast, increasing in the wickedness with other entities now taking up hosts in the host body system. And hence we get the language in the Bible. The sons of God will be crying out day and night, and many of us are. The Bible is true. But there is a hidden Bible within Bible, and it goes so much deeper. If you're looking at the surface level of the Bible from your religious belief systems, the indoctrination, you are deceived, misled. Okay? Only Father, as we're told in the Bible, can give you the precepts so you understand the Bible and the mysteries that's inherent within it. Now, I'm bold enough to tell you how it is. I look at the world as a screen. I'm in a matrix. I'm in a cubic reality, a heaven and earth, my terrestrial body and celestial body within. Once I've accepted this truth, that what I'm observing through my senses is part of a shared server, a biological, organic, vegetable, simulated AI matrix computer reality through sacred mathematics, sacred geometry, the same patterns. The golden ratio, the sacred geometry that props up the model, the framework of reality that I bear witness to through my senses. And yet there's filters going on within me, with my mind, the things that I perceive. What you perceive becomes your perception, becomes your experience. As I said, Father acted something in me years ago where a lot of these filters were removed. So I'm going to be revealing a bit more in connection in regards to watching for our deliverance and the secrets of the vault of heaven in connection with the portal, the door, the prism, the pineal gland, your eyes. They're also portals. So much is projected from your subconscious through your eyes upon your screen. You also have the server, the age that you're a part of, that erects so much in your immediate environment. Yet, those who are in Christ, walking with the Father, so much of the matrix is then denied from your cubic reality, and you are safe and protected. This may sound strange if you are new to the channel. With all the precepts, the knowledge that I've been sharing now for a while, it shouldn't be a shock to you, the things that I'm revealing. Like I said, I'm going deeper into the mysteries and not to hold back. There is a wonderful key given to us. Precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. You put symbol upon symbol, put video upon video. It goes so deep, the mysteries, because we live and move and have our being in God and God in us, in his infinite, the eternal 0 point. The light, the Lord Almighty. And we bear his name in our forehead, Yod-He-Vah-He, the I am that I am, Adonai, etc. We get the living word, the image, love, wisdom and power of the Father formed in us, as I've mentioned in the channel. To understand of the framework of the spirit man in us, as told us in the Bible, there's 3 verses. Did you invest upon the spirit man in you? To understand the invisible, where you do the impossible, you can pay attention to the signs in the Mazzaroth, the constellations. With hindsight and the processes you are going through, you can see the transformation of yourself, flipping from the first earthly man Adam to the heavenly man Adam, in regards to the age that you are in, where you can remain watchful, being obedient to your Lord God, in hope of your deliverance from these horrible states and the world that you find yourself in. The sign of Jonah, deep call to deep, deliver us from this present evil world. From Sheol, Abba, deliver us from this present evil world. There's 2 verses talking about the final destination, when we get to this point at the end of the cycle where we're crying out because we see the evils. The veils have been lifted for us. We are hypersensitive. Our hearts are made of flesh. And we just want the authentic, original blueprint, a reality where it's normal. Everyone is happy. Coming from the fruits of spirit, the tree of life, we understand what reality is from the journey, playing the dark side, only seen in part, looking at reality through a dim glass. After being flipped, having a light formed in us that exposes the darkness of ourselves, playing as the first earthly man Adam, we flip from the first earthly man Adam to the heavenly man Adam. And hence we go through the resurrection with Christ, and we will be like he is. Many of us receive the 8th eye after going through the 7 eyes of the Lamb, where we know God and we know him in full. And we are walking with the Father. The Father bears witness of me and me of the Father. And creation waits in expectation for the sons of God, for our deliverance, for the end of the world. The end of the cycle is the harvest, is for the angels. Many of us received a sign from these celestial events that the numbers have come in with the full moon in its relevant locations. A lot of the processes that we've been through has now been completed. Okay. So I said recently in my videos that I'm grasping things with the Mazzaroth, the vault of heaven, on a deeper level. I'm seeing things to a greater degree, having more of the mystery, the vault of heaven, be revealed to me. And everything I've shared with you, I'm grasping it on a deeper level. I've been doing this a long time, and through the law of growth and me staying focused on Father and his handiwork, which declares his glory, things are now really starting to open to me. I want to give you a basic insight into what it is I'm seeing, and in connection with Brother Dana's post, where he saw through symbology a image that was literally betraying a celestial event, what's going on, that parallel scripture where many of us are watching for our deliverance. Okay. Now, this deliverance is not going to go the way that many expect. As Father got me to say last year, the world is created by the word that's in the heart and on our tongue. It was so important to make the investment. And many of you have a wonderful future, a home already waiting for you. And you will come into remembrance and receive disclosure and preparation for this. You are coming out of the pool, out of the matrix, out of the arena. The way that we shift, this is tied to a flash event, but you will go about your daily activities or wake up one morning and you're going to find yourself going through a transformation. You may find your form is changing, or it is an abrupt transformation and you will come to your youthful prime, or the world starts changing in a dramatic way that as you grow with enough knowledge and you are more receptive to the changes occurring within you, you're going to find yourself then moving back into your prime. It all depends how open and receptive you are to the transformations in the return home. This is mentioned to us in a lot of our spiritual texts, from the secret mysteries of Osiris, Emerald Tablets, the Apocrypha, the Bible, the esoteric, etc. Right. So many talk about the 12 signs of the zodiac, right? This is stellarium. This is all the constellations with all its imagery. But many only talk about the 12. For example, in astrology, they just talk about this. And you only see a small portion of what is actually going on. They only talk about the 12, yet why do we have all these images and all these other constellations going on in the Mazzaroth, the vault of heaven, but we only talk about 12? As I was growing, I received the 13th secret sign, constellation, Orpheus, if I can say it right, the serpent bearer. Then I had revealed to me the 33 constellations in the Milky Way, and there's 44 in another ring. Then I have received a star map with Ceres, Orion, Taurus, and Pleiades in connection with the framework of the spirit man in us. And I wanted to know, what is with all these other constellations and images? There is a reason for these, yet to the elementive, the very basic, the children, as they are referred to, rebellious children in the Bible, okay, they only talk about the 12, and many are not even aware of the stars, and many reside in one constellation, Cephus. Now, we're told in the Bible, let not your human leaders boast, for all things are yours, whether Paul or Pilus, Cephus, the sea monster, the world, Cephus, life or death, the present or the future, all is yours. You're in Christ and Christ is in God. Right. So here is the Milky Way. Of course, you've been lied to about everything. The cosmology, the things about the vault of heaven. You have to see past the lie, the surface level of reality. The truth is underneath it. You wouldn't believe how much you've been lied to. And when I mean literally everything, I literally mean everything. You are coming out of a world of lies. You have been stuck in this spectrum, the spectre, in these loops, the cycles in the Ouroboros, until you come into sentience, awareness. After you played many roles in the LARP, the live action role play, we are told in the Bible, you are called by name at the appointed time, one by one in your order. At the end of the cycle, there is a gathering. Many of us are part of something very unique, where there is a collection at the end, which is again tied with the harvest for the angels. There is a deliverance, a relocation of souls. Many are not ready. There's another course of action for them. For many of us, there is this language of a shift, ascension, a mystical sudden transformation that occurs with our lives and our form. As we go forward into the future, we start sticking on incorruptibility and immortality now. Now, I'm not going to apologize for the things I'm saying being mystical. With everything I've talked about in regards to revealing this realm we've been in, it shouldn't be a shock to you in the things that I'm saying, especially with all the demonic activities now occurring with this age, where we see the denigration and people acting very strange. Again, I'm not judging anyone or criticizing. I'm literally telling you what it is that I observe, which is in accordance with prophecy. It's that simple. Now, all you had to do was follow the patterns. There's nothing new under the sun. That which has been will be again. And we see recurring patterns in nature with the seasons, with the animal kingdom, the human kingdom, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, mineral kingdom. Okay. Everything is in a constant perpetuation, a death and rebirth. And we've been in a very basic binary system. Now, the Egyptians paid attention to the star map, the stars, and they had these star maps. Because, as we're told in the Bible, as above, so below, as within, so without. The Lamb, the light thereof, that's in us. We are co-creating with our husband, the maker, the creator, the alchemical marriage back to our soul. Bear with me, guys, it's hot. Where we are separated from the influences of the spectrum. But so much of what we see go on in the vault of heaven is literally emanated, expressed, or should we say played out on the world stage. It's a stuck record. And many are repeating lives again and again and again. Hence the deja vu, okay, and the Mandela effect, as well as other strange anomalies we've witnessed over the years. But growing with knowledge and wisdom, we have insight, we have understanding. Okay, we get it, we see it. In which many do not want to accept. They would like to bury their head into the sand. And the hands, I get that. Hands is to do with, again, we use our hands symbolically to create, to give, receive, etc. And we are told, let your hands not be idle. We're talking about the mental exercise that we do with the potter at the wheel, our spiritual hands with the celestial body, the spiritual man in us, where we are reworking the clay with our thoughts, molding that wonderful idea, a greater version of ourselves and a realm we'd like to reside in. Okay. Now, again, many of you already have a home in the future. You just wouldn't believe it. So the Egyptians were paying attention to the vault of heaven. Here is the Stargate, right? And you noticed their zodiac, it goes into a spiral. And I mentioned about the golden ratio that we are a part of, the 3.144, the light beings, the star that comes out of Jacob. Okay. Even though we are now disconnected from the world and the celestial influences, we regard them as signs received. What's going on world stage, we see where we are in regards to prophecy. Hence, we're keeping watch because we're part of something very unique, waiting deliverance from this present evil world. The sign of Jonah, deep called to deep, get us out this shield. Get us out shield. Hell. Okay. So as I mentioned, I was going over Brother Danner's post. And I do question. I will try to debunk. And if there's nothing there, I move on. But he's been spot on. Not only that, I'm receiving greater revelation myself because I go and investigate even deeper. And we've been going through this rehearsal and watching Brother Danner's voyage with the illuminaries on their course, going through the constellations, etc. I've noticed something, as I mentioned, because he mentioned about the menstrual period, and we watched the moon go from Virgo into the scales, through Scorpio, through the ruptured part of the Milky Way into Sagittarius. And we were receiving these presentations and this language, and I was like, is this it? And yet it passed. I'm like, man, there's a convergence of all these signs and symbols now. With what's going on with the world stage, we got to be close. What are we missing? So I'm investigating and paying attention, being present. And with Brother Danner's previous post, going over it, something jumped out at me, and I'm going to try my best to articulate and convey what it is that I'm seeing. Now remember, I love symbology, the allegories and anagrams in movies and music videos, the Egyptian hieroglyphs, the esoteric. I've been doing this a long time. I look at the very rudimentary and basic symbols, their shapes from different perspectives. I look at it from a multi-dimensional standpoint. I want to flip it, invert it, do all sorts with these images and presentations that I receive. And by doing so, things get unlocked for me. So I want to share this with you. So up here we have Taurus, Cephas, Pisces, and Aquarius. Okay. Down here we got Sagittarius, Scorpio, and the scales. Right, and the secret sign, 13th secret sign, which is the 13th month hidden from us. All right, I put these constellations on top of these. Now, do not worry if this goes over your head. I'm recording and documenting. The more that I talk about this, the more that you're following along, things will start to click and it's going to jump out at you and you're going to be like, oh my God. All right. I'm going to try and make it as basic and as simple, as clear as I possibly can for you guys. I really am. So, for example, Taurus. Now, remember the key given to us in the Bible. Put precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Put symbol upon symbol. Just like the Egyptian hieroglyphs and the imagery they use with the human kingdom, the animal kingdom, they anthropomorphize some of the animals, which is revealing to us a message. You take the hieroglyphs and you overlay them on top of and on other hieroglyphs for greater understanding. Right? And they paid attention to the constellations. For example, Taurus, you must put on top of Sagittarius. And there is knowledge, a language, where there is a correspondence. It's interwoven through its symbology and knowledge in connection with the characteristics and attributes of these two constellations being put on top of each other. You have Cephas and the Scorpion, right? They are one and the same. So, for example, we saw the moon, which is known as the traveller, connected to our soul, also connected to, bear with me, Virgo, where we receive the sign of the birth of Manuel, the sun, the great Revelation 12 sign that happened in 2017, with Jupiter being birthed out of Virgo. Okay, now we noticed over the weeks, the recent weeks, the moon had travelled through, bear with me, the scale, Scorpio, through the rupture part of the Milky Way, through the ship, or the boiling kettle, Sagittarius. Okay. And I watched this in connection with the allegories that's in the music videos. And with the convergence of the signs, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing the connection here. What is it I'm missing? Of course, we've only got, the 7 wonders in the clock, the vault of heaven. And when it goes round, should we say, a portion of the constellation, the moon that's reflective, should we say, connected with the term that's reflective, as a mirror to the sun, only it has its own light, etc. I'm not going to get into all that. It's reflecting, should we say, the other portion of the ring. And so we can't just make an assumption, an interpretation with it being in a certain portion of the constellations without bear with me, including the mirror reflected portion of the constellations. Right, let me make sure I get this out again, clear it as I can. As you can see, it's a challenge. So it's though that there's this ring with the zodiac, where the moon goes on its course and it goes through like 3 constellations that are Pacific that we are paying attention to, and the moon is actually reflecting, or should we say telling us to pay attention to the opposite side of the ring. There you go. So for example, with the recent connection with the Bible, with the moon going through certain constellation, I'm looking at the other side. Okay, so recently with the menstrual period, okay, we were witnessing this. And now we're seeing another 7 days Terry, and we are witnessing this. Okay. And I stuck it on top of it. And I noticed the moon was again giving us a foreshadowing of a pattern. It's giving us a language where if you pay attention to the moon moving through these portion of the constellations and carry it forward for into again the next set of patterns, it reveals a message. Right, I hope I got that across correctly. As you can see, there's a lot to get across here, and not many people are talking about this. This can be challenging. Now, we also have the secret 13th sign, the serpent bearer. Put it on top of Pisces. All right, and there is so much with this. We have Aquarius, which is also connected with the scales, right? They've got to go on top of each other. And funny enough, the secret sign is Aquarius. They are one and the same character. As you can see, I'm learning this and I'm getting confirmation. I'm giving you a basic insight, guys. I'm having to really research. I've been doing this a while. I'm receiving the revelations and like, oh my goodness me. We got 2 categories. Those who are asleep, those who are awake. Those who are dead, we have the living amongst the dead. And I'm seeing it's written in the stars. We've transmuted the darkness into light. We are perceiving reality very differently, overlooking all offences and investing in a wonderful future. Now I understand why so many are so engrossed in calamity or these horrors that's going to happen. I'm like, I don't know what you're going on about, but there's a wonderful future. I see the filters. I see that there is a split in perception and mind, consciousness, like a river. And we're on that milky river about to flow into that wonderful future. I hope this is making sense. I noticed in the conspiracy communities, they were misinterpreting the symbolism. Because they were still dark in nature, they couldn't flip it to the positive, which gives us the good news. And so I had to separate myself years ago because I'm like, no, this is actually a good sign for us. And I'm starting to see, to the pure things are pure. It's our deliverance. We're starting to see the evils vanish. It goes in its degradation. It's the end of the old earthly man Adam. God's spirit will not always tend with man. We're seeing the collapse. Of course, we see this last adversary, this AI, which is an entity within itself, a presentation that reveals to us a great calamity, a destruction of humanity itself. Unless Father intervenes, there be no flesh left. And I'm getting it. Again, the end of the world or destruction wasn't going to be the way that many people expected. It was going to be something that was hidden, that would trick and fool the masses. Well, are we not seeing this already? And I'm getting it on a deeper level. So Brother Dan has shared this image with us, with this speed racer who fell out of his car. Okay, and it literally looks the same as Aquarius. And Brother Dan noticed the symbols. Someone else pointed out to him. Okay, the symbols either side of the man representing the constellation, as though the image, as above so below, as within so without. A message, signs in the heaven, signs on the earth. You've got the checkerboard, host body system, and you've got that which is going on above, also in the image. Okay, with Sagittarius, I've been doing this a while, and when I saw that, I'm used to seeing images like this, literally paralleling that which is going above. I'm paying attention to the moon because it's connected to our souls. Remember, there's an intervention, that point in time, connected with a flash event that happens in the eyes, the consciousness, where there is a relocation for the travelers. Because you are the heavenly man, Adam. Jesus Christ is all about the heavenly origins. Rejoice, you heavens, woe to the inhabitants of the earth. Hence, I'm paying attention to these signs. So Brother Dana made a point about the last part of the sequence he's been following that leads up to the 17th, going across the water portion of the constellation. And this is what I had seen going over his post. Right, these on top of each other. Because the previous pattern was now so close in regards to scripture, it was convergence, like a countdown clock of all the signs and symbols now literally converging and overlaying each other, denoting to me the end. An end, there is a beginning, a rebirth, and we keep going forward because this goes deeper. There's so much more to all this, and I'm seeing it. And there's going to be this wonderful transformation. Regardless of what we see on the world stage, I know in the invisible, with what I am receiving, this is very significant and important. And there's going to be wonderful changes because we know by law from all the investments and the transformations we've gone through, we are walking with the Father going by the day. So please bear with me because this is new, the way that I'm using the constellations on a multi-dimensional layer now, putting the constellations on top of each other, and it has to be in connection with scripture, with the Bible verses, in connection with what's going on with us and the events on the world stage, etc. There's a lot of data sometimes you have to filter through, and it needs to connect. Truth always presents itself. If there's nothing there, it doesn't lead to something that is of great importance, that is of joy and of light, then I let it go. So I want to share a couple of things with you now before I go. Keep following along, guys. 17th this weekend is very important. Pay attention. Okay. I just know, guys, the more that you follow along, and this is going to get even easier for me to explain. I'm going to grasp it on a deeper level, and we're going to receive even greater mysteries and truths. It's absolutely genius. It's God. It's love, wisdom, power, intelligence of the highest kind. Okay, so correlations, no. Galatians, no. Bear with me. Let me get the right one. Yeah, correlation 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. I have put my whole heart, soul, and spirit into doing this work for Father. This is not from me, guys. This is to glorify our Father's name. I was sent on here to share everything that I've received, and it goes so deep that even myself going over my material, I'm grasping things on a deeper level. And I've been studying day and night since the year 2011, going into all these different schools of thought, studying the esoteric, simology, the amount of spiritual texts, forbidden knowledge, the Apocrypha, Emerald Tablets, and I've read that so many times. If it's to do with the ancient texts, I've probably crossed it. And many won't even take 5 minutes to pick up a book. It's mind-blowing and it can be heavy. Nonetheless, we go forward and we keep watch, growing and learning from our loving Father. I don't easily break. This is why I've been groomed for this. I've gone through so much and I know what comes next is restoration and healing. And I can really delve deep into revealing the greatest mysteries. I'm connected to something. I am connected to something that's ancient. And I love the authentic original blueprint. Coming back into our authentic power, walking with the Father. Again, the hands of the mind. Okay, that stretches out the firmament, your cubic reality. Did you get what I just said there? Okay, let not your hands be idle. I love your law. I meditate on it day and night. My people die for lack of knowledge, for lack of vision. Many of us received that vision. We are loyal to it. We're on the crown arrow, part the prime. We can see a greater version of ourselves and a wonderful realm to dwell in. As Thoth was looking for, he was looking for a realm that was much fairer than the daughters of men. A realm where there is no more curse, wolf, hunter, lame bull, thief, liar, murder, etc. As we go forward, and Father's doing a new thing, but who can perceive it? There's going to be mystical transformations, and things are not going to go the way that you expect. And you've averted so much, and you've literally shifted, and the world comes back online, and there's going to be these abrupt transformations that occurs with yourself, possibly with your form, and this wonderful future that's laid before you. Do not judge by your present age, your form, the way that you look, and this realm. You go forward now, knowing there is a greater version, a transformation that's going to occur with you in the power of God. I cannot stress that enough. Like I said, there's individuals on the world stage that do not think like the elementive first earthly man Adam. You are a new creature. Jesus Christ comes in the vesture dipped in blood. These vestures is all about his angels. Spirit gives birth to spirit. The earth, flesh gives birth to flesh. You do not think like they do now. These are like robes, like garments. You've thrown them down, but you remain the same. Your years will never end. Things are different for us now. Father's put all our enemies, our fears, under our feet. Even the last enemy, which was death, under our feet. We go forward in spirit and in truth, knowing that all this can transform in a flash, especially with the presentations, the initiation in it with the Mandela effect and our own mystical experiences and the disclosure, the transformation, etc. We are prepared for this. I noticed this today as well. I couldn't help think these look like angel wings. All right. And again, the word flipped. Remember, everything flips. The switch, massive light activation happening. Remember, we're between worlds. I will let you know. Okay, well, you're going to know anyway, but I know that I'm going to be present to make others aware of this event that's about to take place. That may sound strange. After everything I've gone through, goodness me. And with what's going on, it's all spirit. Again, we are in the spirit realm. As we're told in the Bible, you didn't think you was in the realm of the flesh, did you? You're in the realm of the spirit. That's if indeed the Christ is in you. There's so much about the dream state, the realms, the spiritual nature. Jesus Christ says, test the spirits. Why test the spirits? Because you're in a spiritual realm. But many have not grasped it. Okay? Many have died many times already. You die once, after that is judgment. Oh, death, where is your sting? We stop putting on that silly Faraday cage, the earthly man Adam, who plays his LARP thinking he's going to get old and die. That's an old paradigm that's been flipped. All the stones flipped over. The temple, the kingdoms that many were suffering by is passing away. We now go forward in spirit and in truth. Incorruptibility and immortality. You cannot not exist. Again, we are told these are like robes. You throw them down, but you remain the same. Your years will never end. The only end that's been occurring is that you were put in new vestures because you didn't like the new. You wouldn't find it fit to acknowledge God. You kept playing these roles, these events that occurred with you. You were facing death daily for his name's sake. You're like cattle to the slaughter, especially with the big cleaver that goes around in the vault of heaven, which I mentioned with booties. That's slaying everyone. So they die once, after that is judgment. And so by their paradigms, their beliefs about the reality accepted by their screen from other entities, they're pulled into other people's harvests, in which I said don't get pulled into. This has stopped for many of us. We're on the crown arrow heading back home. The 17th, the meeting in the field. Free the flock, Pleiades with Uranus. Again, a connection to heaven. My sister received this. The bull, the ox, the Aliv Tav, the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. It's a new beginning, a new heaven and earth, a wonderful new future, a new timeline, a wonderful mystical transformation that's coming, where we get the language, there is restoration, healing, the resurrection, etc. That is what's coming. I don't know what anyone else is going on about. We are loyal to that wonderful image because we come from the tree of life, the fruits of spirits, the fruits of the Spirit, and the wonderful virtues of God. We overlook all offences. We've transmuted the darkness to light. We only see that which is of the light and life now, because that's our living Father, who is the living Father, as Jesus Christ makes a point. I'm Kenneth Andre, Tenjutsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Love you guys. Pay attention to the 17th this weekend. Whether we see anything on the world stage or things occur around us, we keep going forward because this is important and it's significant. Love you.